Hello. Most of us celebrate our birthdays. But what is that we celebrate every year? Different people may have different reasons to celebrate. Someone may celebrate his existence on earth for being alive for one more year. Someone else wants to rejoice his achievements in the past 1 year. Another one probably wants to express his gratitude to others who have enriched his life. Someone wants to strengthen the bond with his family and friends by throwing a party. Another one may do it just for fun or happiness. But we certainly do not celebrate our birthdays to remind ourselves that we lost one more year from our lifespan. And we are now one more year close to our grave. Is it so unpleasant a thought? Does it make you uncomfortable to think that way? Is it too negative a thought? I don't know what you think. But in my opinion, it is not a bad idea to take stock of the day by evaluating what all we have achieved in the years that we lost and what are all in our bucket list for the next year. Sometimes it is good to remind ourselves that we are here for a purpose and our time is running out to complete all those things that would give us fulfillment and maybe will provide meaning to our very presence on earth. Actually, our life becomes worthy when others celebrate our birthdays. What if others celebrate our birthday even after we are gone from here? That would be possible only if we leave inerasable footprints here for others to remember us. What if the whole country celebrates one's birthday, even though he departed from earth more than 60 years back? He must have certainly done something really great, and thereby he must have made his life meaningful. India celebrates 15th September as Engineers Day because it happens to be the birthday of the architect of India, Bharat Ratna, Sir Dr. Mokshagundam Visvesvaraya, popularly known as MV or Sir MV. He was born on 15 September 1861 and passed away on 14 April 1962 at the age of 101. Since all of you know about his great contribution to the nation, I am not going to touch upon any of them. Instead, I am going to share with you a few gems, a few real-life incidents from his life. I am sure that these inspiring anecdotes will make you to introspect, asking yourself if what you are doing is enough and if you are on the right path. Please do share this with your friends and fellow engineers. Also, please share it with engineering students, whoever you know. The reason why I am asking this is because we don't stress upon engineering ethics in our classrooms. Maybe the life and times of Visvesvaraya would help them to instill ethics within them at their young age itself. This incident happened several years back in the United States of America. A group of Indians were visiting a steel factory in the US to learn the metallurgical process in steel manufacturing. The floor manager guided them through the factory, demonstrating every equipment in the production line and explaining its functionality. In the end, the manager told them that to understand a complete production line in one shot, one must climb over a 75 feet ladder. That would provide him a complete view of the factory floor. Though most delegates were youngsters, they hesitated to climb the tall, narrow iron ladder. The leader of the team, however, was so thrilled with the idea that he immediately removed his coat and shoes and started climbing the ladder. Seeing that, others were in shock. Many even shivered seeing him climbing the ladder so briskly because the team leader was an old man. the oldest among all of them. His act of climbing the ladder, in fact, challenged others, and a few tried following him but could not reach the top, except three of them. The old gentleman captured the sight from the top, quickly climbed down, and thanked the production manager. He was so happy and gratified. The old gentleman who climbed the ladder was none other than MV. India is yet to see another engineer who was so passionate with his profession. He also maintained enthusiasm and eagerness to learn throughout his life. He was an avid reader. He has also written a few books on planning and economy. When he was 98, one of his close associates was traveling abroad and he asked MV if he needed anything to be brought from there. MV handed him a list of books which were not available in India. Once, when the Bhadravati iron ore factory was in deep trouble, the government wanted Visvesvaraya to take the control of the situation, to revive and rehabilitate the factory. Soon he took over as the chairman of the factory. However, the government could not decide his salary, and by the time the decision came, a few years had passed. MV had worked for 6 years as chairman. The amount due to MV was more than 1 lakh of Indian rupees. Can you imagine the value of 1 lakh rupees those days? It was huge an amount, but MV refused to accept it. He told the government to invest that amount to start a technical institute where boys can learn some profession. So, the institute was built as decided by MV. Now comes another twist in the story. The government wanted to name the institute after Visvesvaraya, but MV objected. He asked the government to name it after the Maharaja of Mysore. That is how the famous Sri Jai Chamaraja Polytechnic of Bangalore was born. Probably that kind of generosity and modesty won't be understood by today's generation because the world around us today is far different. Today's world is crowded with power-hungry men who just want to accumulate money and go chasing name and fame at any cost. People in power look for every opportunity to engrave their name on anything. Let it be a village road, a waiting shed, a bench in the public park, or even a public toilet. So it's hard to understand people like MV who lived in an era when there was no social media and communication channels to gain popularity. Also, it is learned that as per his written will, after his death, all his bank balance went to his staff, including his driver, secretary, and servants. He felt that they deserved that money more than his own family members who were probably well settled. When Visvesvaraya was the Diwan of Mysore state, one of his close relatives approached him for a favor. In fact, MV had held a lot of respect for this gentleman. It was difficult for MV to say no to this relative if he had asked something. His relative was a government servant and he was looking for a promotion out of the way. That higher post would have given him an increment of 50 rupees a month. While Visvesvaraya acknowledged his relative's financial need that time due to certain liabilities he had to fulfill, he was no way in a mood to bypass the system to favor his relative. So he said no. But as long as the relative was alive, he paid him 100 rupees every month from his pocket. That's the kind of person MV was. Again, in this era of nepotism and favoritism, MV will remain as a mystery to many. He was well known for upholding his integrity. At the same time, he was compassionate to the people who were in need. As the chief engineer of Mysore state, he planned to construct the Krishna Rajasagar Dam. But the challenges were many. One challenge was lack of right material and technology. It was a time when our infrastructure was very poor and there was no construction technology available. India was not even producing cement. However, our engineers prepared mortar much stronger than cement and proved its suitability to construct the dam. Second challenge was the budget. It was okay for a man like MV to hold such big dreams, but the poor India could not afford it. There was poverty everywhere and the people were dying of hunger. The average income of the common Indian was just 6 paise per day, whereas MV's estimate for KRS Dam was 2.53 crores that time. And this figure was so huge those days that the officials of Mysore state were shocked and they asked MV to just drop the idea. It took lot of efforts and deliberations for MV to convince the government and to get the approval in the end. That was not the end of the story. MV planned KRS Dam with a height of 130 feet, but the government of India approved a height of only 80 feet. MV was not discouraged. He was a man of conviction. While he kept the correspondence and discussions on the subject alive, he went ahead casting the foundation for 130 feet high dam. Finally, the central government had no choice but to agree with him. Because of KRS Dam, the dry lands of the state of Mysore got plenty of water for agriculture. The dam also gave ample electricity to the state. Even today, KRS Dam and Vrindavan Gardens attract thousands of tourists every day from across the globe. In 1912, the Maharaja chose Visvesvaraya as his Diwan. As Diwan, he got a government car that he could have used for his personal work also, as per the protocol. But he refused. He used the government car only for the government work. For his personal use, he bought a personal car, spending his several years of saving. One evening, one of his close friends visited MV at his home to seek some personal advice. But MV was working on some official document. He was busy writing under the light of an oil lamp. Those days there was no electricity and people had to work by oil lamps and candles. MV asked his friend to wait for some time till he finished the document. After a while, MV completed his work, kept his pen and pencil aside, and turned off the lamp. He then pulled out another lamp, lighted it, and took another set of pen and paper to attend his friend's work. The friend found his behavior so strange and therefore asked MV if there was something wrong with the other pen, paper, and the lamp. Sir MV replied that he was using office lamp and stationaries for doing office work, and now since he was about to do his personal work, he would use his personal lamp and stationaries. In 1918, when he decided to give up the Diwanship, he went to the palace in the government car to give his letter to Maharaja. He returned in his personal car. While many of us struggle to draw a clear line between our professional and personal life, MV was a champion in compartmentalizing both. He never mixed both and he knew well where to draw the line.